家好，我是安美，欢迎来到币学，我们一起碰币不碰币。在这段熊市，有很多 altcoin 的市值都跌超过 90%， 甚至 Luna 一个市值曾经超过好几个 billion 的加密货币，价值也突然在几天之内呢，就一瞬间变成零。但如果我长期看好加密货币的发展，但又不想承担那么多风险的话，有什么比较推荐的选择吗？比特币呢跟以太币因为存在了比较久的时间，就是我们推荐的，而且市场也比较能接受它们的价值。像是比特币是作为去中心化代币的开拓者，以太币则是拥有很多优秀的开发者在上面开发，所以价格波动相对没有那么大。而且随着机构投资人开始把资产投入加密货币，他们也会是机构投资人的首选投资标的。因此在熊市的状况下，投资比特币跟以太币不只可以跟上加密货币的成长，也不会让你的资产一夕归零。而我们这个影片呢，还会解释为什么许多人认为 ETH 比比特币是更好的投资选择。在这一集影片中，我们会学习 Global Macro Investor 首席执行官 Raoul Pal 的专业看法。
So I'm going to make it easy for people. Everything is about supply and demand. Right, the more supply there is, the cheaper it is. The more demand there is, if supply is stable, the more expensive it gets. Which is why we've had the problem with prices, because there wasn't supply of oil, but there was demand as everybody came out of pandemic. So what have we got going on in ETH? We've got a gigantic supply shock. So what is the supply shock? The small supply shock is right now, every day, miners are selling ETH. They probably sell 80% of everything they receive because they need to pay for their cash flows and their electricity and all of this stuff. So they stop. That's about 1 or 2 billion a month. Okay, that's nice. But then after that, we've also got the fact that staking's coming. Mm-hmm. Currently, there's about 9% of all ETH staked. Now, estimates are it should go up to around 30%. What does that mean? It means 30% of the ETH comes off exchanges, comes out of DeFi, comes out of CeFi, and is untouchable. Yep. Right? You're removing a gigantic amount of supply from the market, and it's locked for a year. So you can't do anything about it. Yes, you can trade using staked ETH and stuff like that, but it's not the same thing. So you've got this. So you're taking that out of the market. So you've got a huge supply shock. On the other side, you've got a massive demand shock, which is, firstly, a lot of institutions wrongly didn't like Bitcoin because of ESG concerns. Proof of stake gets rid of that. Additionally, it now has a yield. So that's something that institutions love, is a yield. So now you need to make one asset allocation decision, which is, I believe in this Web3 technology world. So where do you allocate? Bitcoin or ETH? It's going to be ETH. Why? Because you're going to get something between a 6 and a 10% yield.
That's right.
So that's extraordinary. Yeah. And you've got this deflationary issue of burning the tokens based on network activity. So that's another massive supply shock. So there's less ETH around every year. It's getting locked up. And you've got no miners. Put against this massive demand shock, and we've got the macro cycle turning. I look at this and think, holy shit, this is a massively imbalanced supply and demand situation. We're looking at this as a technology and a network adoption model. So you want to back the network that's growing the fastest and has the most number of applications.
Yep.
That's the safest, easiest allocation. That happens to be ETH. Now, other earlier stage tokens, whether it's Solana or AVAX or whatever, are getting earlier on the adoption curve. So you get that accelerated phase. So they'll probably outperform. But if you're just thinking the safe, easy bet, we're now looking at the internet. The money of the internet is ETH currently. Nothing is exchanged in Bitcoin. Right. I mean, literally nothing. So the money of the internet is ETH. DeFi is built on ETH. NFTs are built on ETH. All of this is being built on ETH. ETH now has a yield. Yeah. Stable coins are on ETH. And ETH has a yield. Okay. but I do have a few bets. So I have a small basket of like DeFi, Uniswap and stuff like that, Aave.
最后我们觉得现在的熊市投资 ETH 会是最好的选择，除了它不太可能会一夕之间归零之外，而且还能够跟上加密货币的成长，它比起 BTC 也有更多的成长潜力。The merge 升级后矿工会消失，所以就不会有来自矿工的那么多的以太币被销售。ETH 引入代币的燃烧的机制后，甚至会让代币越来越少。The merge 后转往 POS（Proof of Stake） 会让 ETH 变得更环保，这个非常有可能会吸引机构的巨量资金投入 ETH。会有大量的币参与质押，然后至少在1年之间没有办法卖掉，所以市场的卖压会减少，而且还可以参与质押，每年可以获得6到10% 的收益。以太坊也是目前拥有最多开发者的平台，也拥有最多创新应用，像是蓝筹 NFT、DeFi 都在以太坊上。我们认为大家可能还没有完全理解到 ETH 会有多大的成长潜力，而且近期以太坊的重大升级 The Merge 要发生，短期也会给 ETH 的币价成长动力。所以我们认为现在对短期或者是长期的投资人都是入场 ETH 的好机会。我是央美，拜拜。